Hello everybody, happy Friday. It's Juliet here. Today we're going to be making this pretty springtime earring using some of the materials I got from Beebeecraft. And I think this is such an elegant and pretty design. Now I do want to give a shout out. I forgot to check your name. I think it's Janie, who made a comment on my Beebeecraft thing saying that the superduo, the generic brand of superduos, if you remember, that the coating will probably come off. And she was absolutely 100% correct. So I don't know if you can, let me zoom you in actually. It's gonna work better. Okay, can you see how it's already coming off? And that's just from me making the earring. Now in this instance I don't mind it because I think it gives it a little bit of an aged look. So what I'll probably do is put some clear nail polish just on those beads to kind of give them a little layer of protection, and then we'll just go with an aged look for it. But just be aware, if you do get them, be prepared for some of the color to wear off of those superduo beads. But otherwise, I mean, the clear ones are absolutely as good as regular superduos. Okay, so for today's project, we will also be using the 10mm kind of cushion cut. Well, they're not really cushion, I don't know. Anyway, the 10mm square cut cabochons that are Chatons, sorry, that I showed you in the last video, and I'll put a link for all of these items down below. And don't forget, if you do need anything and you're going to, the link to use the code JULES10 to get 10% off, okay? And I'm just also going to show you at the end how you could make a necklace and make like 3 of these components. Have your little dragonfly hanging down below, have a couple more. You could make a very, it's not even on the camera. You could make a very pretty little component necklace, springtime necklace with the little dragonfly. I just felt like it was a little bit too much for my earring today, but I think it would be very cute to add it onto a necklace. And then we're going to be using the earring findings out of this selection that I also showed in the last unboxing. Obviously we'll be using these, and I'm using some 3mm rondelles that I got a couple years ago from Beebeecraft. I will put link to something similar. They don't have this exact one anymore, but they have several similar options, so I'll put links for those. These are just 3mm rondelles, nothing too fancy about them. Okay, so I've got some in this green color here, and I've got some in the pink color. So the pink goes here, the green goes at the ends, and then I have some 11-0 Miyuki Seed Beads, and these are the rounds, and they're just the gold color. The one I'm using is 1052, but if you have the Duracoat version or a different color of the gold, that would work too. Use whatever is going to match your project. And then I have some 15-0 beads. And again, today I'm using Miyuki. You could use Toho because in 15-0s it doesn't really make that much difference because they're so small. So I'm using Miyuki 1881, okay? And obviously a beading needle and some beading thread, and you'll need some scissors, and you'll need some pliers and a jump ring to attach your earring finding on at the end, and obviously a back for your earring. Okay, so let's get started with this gorgeous earring. Okay, so I am using about 4 feet of thread, which may be too much, but I'd rather have more than I need than less than I need. You can probably get away with about 3 feet of thread. I'm leaving a 4-inch tail as usual to sew in at the end. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to pick up one of our clear twin hole beads. So I am using these Panda Haul ones because I need to match my other earring, but you can use normal superduos if you have those. Okay, so I'm picking up a clear one, and then I'm going to pick up 2 of my colored ones. Okay, so I have 3, and I'm pushing them down to leave my 4-inch tail. And then I'm going to sew through the second hole of my superduo, so of the clear one. So I'm coming out here, so I'm just going back down into it here. And what it's going to do is it's going to make the other 2 kind of sit on the top like a little pair of rabbit ears. Okay, so this is what we have. So they're just going to sit there like that. And just keep your tail kind of pulled off to one side. And you can adjust it at this point if you need a little extra length to grab onto, which is what I just did. Okay, now we're going to pick up 2 of our 15-ohs. If I can get it on. Okay, so 2 15-ohs, 1 11-oh, and 2 more 15-ohs. So this is what we have, 2 15-ohs, 1 11, 2 15-ohs. We're going to push all of that down. So that is going to go up against your clear superduo, okay? Or twin bead, okay? Then you're going to pick up another clear twin bead. And we're going to repeat the entire process. So we're going to pick up 2 of the green, push everything down, and then we're going to sew through the clear superduo again. Okay, so we now have something that kind of looks like this. I'm coming out from this superduo, and we're going to repeat this until we have 4 of our clear beads with our 2 superduos above and 4 bits of the 2 1 2, so 2 15s, 1 11, and 2 15s. So just keep repeating until you have 4 of those, and I'm going to quickly zoom through that for you. Okay, so once you have finished doing that, you're going to have a kind of thing that looks a little bit zigzagged like this. And you should have your seed beads be the last thing that you added on. And just remember when you're doing this to always go back down through the clear duo bead before you pick up your next ones, because I accidentally messed up on one of mine. Okay, so once we have got that far, we're going to go back up into the superduo where our tail thread is coming out from in order to form a square. And yours may turn into a V like this. That's okay, because you can spread it out and it will become a square. Okay, so we're going to pass up through both the green twin beads, and again we're just using the same hole, and down through the clear superduo as well. Okay, so we're just moving forward through that unit, and then we're going to pass forward until we exit from the gold 11-oh bead. Okay, so once you are exiting from the 11-0, you're going to pick up 3 more 11-0s, and you're going to enter into the next gold bead. And try not to get yourself looped. Okay, then you're going to pick up 3 more, and we're just going to repeat this until we have 4 sides with 3 beads in between. So I'm just popping over straight into the next gold bead. Repeat again, picking up 3 beads each time. And the last time, going into that gold bead again, and then I'm going to move forward until I come out from the 3rd bead, which would be the middle of the group of 3 that I just added. Okay, so I'm just adding my last side, and I'm moving forward through 3 beads. Okay, so I'm exiting from the 3rd bead on that side. I've completed all 4 sides, and now I'm going to pick up 2 of my 15-0 beads, and I'm going to sew into the 3rd bead of this row. So 1, 2, 3, and that's your middle bead. Again, be careful not to get looped around the super duos that are already in place. Okay. And we're going to repeat this 3 more times. So pick up 2 15s, go into the middle of the side that should have 5 11-0s on it. Okay. And when you get to your last 2, you're just going to enter straight into the bead where the first 2 are coming out from. And pull that all nice and tight, and it will form a little diamond shape like this. Okay. So here we are coming out from this 3rd bead. I'm going to move forward until I exit from the corner of that side. So move forward 2 beads till you're coming out from the corner bead, which is one of the 4 original 11-0s that we added at the beginning. And now we're going to pick up 1 more 11-0, and we're going to enter, if you're coming out this side of the bead, we're going to enter into it again. And you can move forward through the next 2 seed beads and through your clear super duo. So move forward through the 2 15s and the super duo. And this bead is just going to sit right on top of the other bead that we added, and it's just going to hang out there like that. Okay, so if that's what it looks like, it might be out to the side, but that's what we want. We just want it attached onto the same bead. Okay, now we're going to pick up 1 more gold bead, 11-0, and we're going to go down the other hole of the super duo, and we're going to move forward through the 2 15s and the 11-0. And what you want is you want the gold bead to just sit right on top at the base of your 2 super duos. So he's just going to sit right there Okay, and here again, we're going to pick up another gold bead. We're going to enter into the same bead that we're coming out from, plus move up through the 2 15s and the first hole of the clear super duo. Add your 11 again, just like we did before. Okay. Move down the second hole of the super duo and through the 15 and the 2 15s and the 11. And again, this bead will just sit here. So we're going to repeat this 2 more times. So you're going to add another bead here, a bead here, a bead here, and a bead here. So I will do that off screen and I will come back to you when I have done that. Okay, so I've just picked up my last gold bead and I'm going down through my super duo, not superhero. And I happened to catch that 15 as well. That's okay. We're going to move forward until we get to that gold bead that has the bead above it right here that we started at. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. So you've got your 4 gold beads sitting on top of your super duos, and you've got your 4 gold beads protruding from your 4 corners in the middle. Okay, and I'm coming out from the 11-0 on this row here with the 2 15s. So I just moved forward until I'm coming out from that 11-0, and I'm going to turn and I'm going to move into the one above. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up another gold seed bead and I'm going to go through that bead again. So we now have 3 beads sitting on top of each other. So once you have 3 beads sitting on top of each other at one of your corners, you're going to circle around and exit from the top bead. So if you're coming out the left-hand side of the second bead, just go into the left-hand side of the 3rd bead, which will be our top bead in this little chain of 3. Okay, so now we're facing to sew in this direction. Just try and keep your beads in a straight line, so you know they should all kind of be stacked on top of each other. It's a little unstable because this is our very first pass. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 3 of our 15-0 beads, and we're going to pass into this bead that is hanging out right above the super duos like this. Okay, we're going to pick up 3 more, plus an 11-0. Okay, so you're going to pick up 3 plus an 11-0. You're going to sew backwards through the gold bead that's here, so back towards where you're coming from. Okay, and that's going to kind of sit a little funny, and then we're going to sew forward through the bead, the gold bead that we were just coming out of. And what that's going to do is it's going to add our 3rd bead in our chain. Okay, and you're going to want to make sure both of those are pulled pretty tight, so just kind of give it a nice little tug and make sure that those are all chained together nicely before you move on. Okay, so now you're going to pick up 3 more. You're going to pop into the next gold bead above your super duo. Okay, and again here we're going to pick up 3 And then we're going to pick up one gold one. So 3 15s and an 11. And we're going to sew backwards towards where we were just coming from. And then forward, so just follow the line of 15 O's and sew forward into the 11 O bead right there. And just be careful to keep your threads so that you're not getting an extra loop there. Okay, so we're just making a little nice little bezel for our stone to sit into. He's going to sit like this, okay? If you're wondering what we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to pick up 3 more and just keep repeating this. So you go into the bead above the superduos, 3 more plus an 11. So backwards through that 11 and forward through the 11 that you just added. And this is what I'm talking about. Make sure that your thread, you're not going through your thread. Make sure your thread is up above. Give it a little tug. And last one. Okay, 3, go through the 11 up below the superduos. And here we already have our 3rd bead because this is where we started. So we only need our 3 15 O's. And we can just pop through into our next 11. And then you're going to want to move forward through the next 2 beads as well. So you're going through the 11 plus the next 2 15 O's. Okay. So at this point, you're going to want to grab your stone and you're going to sit it in. And it's going to sit just like it is in the shape of at the moment. So the points of your stone are going to be pointing towards where your superduos are, okay? Like this. So your stone should be pointing towards, the points of your stone are pointing towards your superduos. Now we're going to pick up 2 of our 15s. And we're essentially going to go through the 5 middle beads here. So you're going to skip the first 15, this 11, and this 15. And then we're going to go through these 2 15s, the 11, and the 2 15s, okay? To create a little corner that's going to help us hold in our stone. So you're going through 5 beads in the middle. You're going through your 2 15s, 11, and 2 15s. And the 2 beads that we just added are going to cut across the corner like this, and they are going to help hold our stone in position. Right now it's not because I've only got 1 corner in, but okay, so now we're going to pick up 2 more of our 15s. Again, we're going to skip. Again, we're going to skip our, we're going to skip the 15, 11, 15, and then we're going to go through the next 2 15s, 11, and 2 15s. Okay. And just make sure as you're pulling that you're kind of pulling inwards. This will eventually sit in place. It's this bezel gives a lot of space for the front of the chaton, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing again, and here's my last corner now. This will be the one that our stone will finally kind of stay in place. Okay, so pull that nice and tight. Okay, and it may not actually stay in place until you reinforce. So we're going to have to go around all the beads again and reinforce. So I'm going to do that right now off screen, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I have reinforced the whole ring, and I am exiting from one of the gold beads in the corner. And remember, we added extra gold beads down below. So I'm going to turn, so I'm coming out in this direction. I'm just going to turn and go into the bead below that. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up 5 of my 15 O's. And then I'm here, and I'm now pointing in this direction. I'm going to go up into the duo, the outer hole of the duo, the next duo over. So I've just come out from here, and I've gone into the super duo, the outer hole. Then I'm going to pick up a gold 11-0. I'm going to pick up one of my 3mm rondelles, and again an 11-0. So when I say 3mm, the stringing length is 3mm. If you don't have rondelles, you could use a 3mm pearl or a 3mm bicone. Those would work as well. So just giving you that option. Okay, so 11, a 3mm, and an 11, and then you're going to just hop into the next hole on the super duo, the next super duo over. So the outer holes we're working on here. Okay, now again we're going to pick up 5 of our 15 O's, and we're going to pop into the middle bead of our 3 beads along the side, or you're going to go through the middle bead. Okay, and again pick up 5 and then move into the outer super duo. Okay. And again we're going to pick up an 11, a 3mm, and an 11. And go into the next super duo. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. So you're going to do 5 15 O's into the middle seed bead, and then 5 up to the super duo. Add your crystal embellishment, 5 down to the middle, 5 up. So go ahead, complete the whole way around, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm about to add my last 5 15 O's on, so I'm just going into that middle gold bead again, just like what we've been doing all along. And so you should have something that looks like this. And what I want you to do is you're going to move up over, and you're going to go down 3 beads, the first 3 of these 5. So I'll just do that really quickly. Okay, so I moved forward so that I'm coming out from the third of these 5 15 O's. And if you struggle during this bit, it might be easier for you to flip it over so you can kind of reach the bands of 5 a little bit easier. Just see how it goes. This bit is a little bit challenging, okay? Just be patient. So you're going to pick up an 11-0, and then you're going to pick up again a 3mm. So again, I'm using the rondelles, but I've switched to pink. and one more 11/0. So you're going to pick up 11/0, 3mm 11/0, and then we're going to go through the last three 15/0s. So you're going to skip the first two, and you're going to go through the last three 15/0s on the next branch, the next section over. Okay, so it's going to sit like this, and it's just going to be hanging out here. And our last move will be to join it all together. So then you're just going to pass through these beads and down the next three, and you're going to repeat this 4 times. And I'm flinging everything everywhere. Okay, so go ahead and complete that. Again, just come out the third bead, pick up 11, 3mm 11, and then go up 3 and pass over the top, down 3, etc., etc. Okay, so I'll do that off screen and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm just about to add my last 3mm and move up through my last 3 15/0s. So all of those are in place, and they're not going to sit very nicely. You do want them to kind of sit up a little bit. So now we're going to go in and just lock those in place, and we're also going to put on the connector area for our earring at the same time. So the first thing you're going to want to do is move up into the 3mm bead at one of the corners, like the next corner when you finished putting all your crystals in. Just move forward so that you are coming out of, sorry, not the 3mm. So you're coming out from the 11/0. So just move forward until you're coming out from the 11/0 bead before the 3mm. And then you're going to pick up 2 of your 15/0s, 1 11 and 2 15/0s. And you're going to sew through the 3mm bead. So my thread's coming out on this side. I'm going into the other side of that 3mm bead and back towards where my thread is. Okay. And that will form a little loop going over the 3mm. Then I'm going to pass up into the first 2 15s and the 11 that I just added, and I'm going to add 3 11/0 beads, and then I'm going to go down through the 2 15s, sorry, down through the 11, the 2 15s, and then the next 11. Okay. Okay, so this is my hanger in place, but we will need to reinforce it, but we're going to go all the way around again, and then we can reinforce it, and that way it'll be solidly attached in. Okay. So this is the only corner where you're going to be doing this, unless you want to hang, of course, your dragonfly at the bottom. Then you'll want to repeat this on this side as well, or if you're joining them together like a bracelet or something, you might want to put another one of these bits down here. So you just go forward till you're exiting the gold bead, you pick up your 2 15s, your gold and your 2 15s, circle back through, go up to the gold, add 3, and then circle down and continue on. Okay. All right, so we're not going to be doing that, but if you need to, that's how you do it. Okay, so here we are. We're going to move forward again through those 3 15/0s. Let me get into the super duo first of all. And again, if you're struggling with this, you might find it easier to turn it over and look on the back. Okay, so here I am. I made it through the first 15/0. I'm going to go until I'm coming out from the third. Okay. So I'm exiting the third 15-0, and then I can sew up into the gold bead that I added next to my pink rondelle. Okay, so remember I sewed through 3 and then I added a little bridge across, right? So now I'm going to pick up one more 11-0. I'm going to sew through the 11-0 that's here on the center of my my piece, and I need to actually reinforce that a little bit better because there's a bit of thread throwing showing. I'll go back at the end and do that. Okay, so just pull nice and tight to add that next 11-0, and then pick up one more and go through the next 11-0, and then again pull that nice and tight, and then you can continue forward through the 3 15-0s, and again you might find it easier to flip over to see where they are and get into them that way. So when you pull it all nice and tight, you're going to have this framed by a set of 5 15-0s, and it's kind of going to nestle in up against your chaton. Okay, so now you can just pass over the top, go down the 3, and repeat here. So you go through the gold, you add a 15-0, you add an 11-0, you add another 11-0, and then up the 3. And here, if you need to add your base, this bit, go ahead and do it. If you don't, just pass through. And again here, go down 3, and the gold, pick up a gold. So you're just going to do that all the way around, okay? So I'll do that, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I have completed locking these 4 beads in place with my little rings of 11-0s going around them. So I am actually coming out. I just passed through the duo bead and my 11-0, and now I just need to reinforce this loop, and then I will be able to go back, and any other reinforcing that you need to do, if you want to go back and tighten your bezel, you can do that, and then you will just tie off your threads. So this is what the back of the earring looks like, and the front will look like this. So I'll go ahead and I will sew in my thread ends and do all my reinforcing, and then we will attach the top of the earring and we will be finished. Okay, so I went ahead and I sewed in all my ends, and so this is my earring, and you can see how pretty it would be, you know, as part of a necklace. If you had maybe 2 like that, and you added your, let me zoom you out a little bit. If you had 2 like that, right, and then you had your little dragonfly hanging off right here. Ignore that bit because that wouldn't be there. So you can see how you could create a really gorgeous springtime necklace with that. But today we're just going to be making the earrings. So all I need to do is I like to use bent nose pliers for this. So I'm just going to grab my jump ring, and the first thing I like to do is to line it up. So see how it's not quite closed properly, and it's also overlapping a little bit. So I like to kind of wiggle it and get it so that I know that when I do open and close it, it is going to actually close and join. And sometimes the one side's a little higher than the other, so you can kind of squish it with your pliers to get it so that the seam matches up, okay? And once you've done that, then you know that you'll be able to close it in the first place. So you can reopen it. And then I'm going to put it through the 4 beads at the top of the earring. And once you've got it through the 4 beads at the top of the earring, you can put your earring finding on. Just make sure that the front and the front are together. When I first started jewelry making, the number of times I would put the earring finding on backwards was absolutely hilarious. I did it all the time. But now I am experienced enough to know how to do it. But yeah, I remember the early days. I used to put them on the wrong way around all the time. Okay, and then once you've done that, you can just twist your jump ring closed, and I like to give it a little wiggle to kind of get it centered and also to help harden the metal so that it's less likely to pop open. If you need to, give the seam a little squeeze. I'm really kind of pushing the 2 sides together as I'm wiggling to make sure that they are butted right up against each other as well. Okay, that looks good. All right, so and then you can just put on your earring back, and these earrings did come with the bags, which is nice. So okay, so here we go, you guys, our springtime earrings, and I think they are so beautiful, just so pretty. I love the colors. I love these. These stones are just so nice. Like I said, I will put a link. I'm using these lighter colored ones, but it would be just as pretty with the dark ones as well. So I just love how they came out. Anyway, I hope you guys make this or make a necklace. If you do, make sure to tag me on my social media so I can see it, or come and join me in our Facebook group and you can post it in there and everyone can ooh and ah over it. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.